What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video we are going to discuss three very important charts. We are going to discuss Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart, because it is looking quite scary. Are altcoins going to dump even more, or are altcoins and Ethereum going to be playing catch up with Bitcoin? And is the market ready for a breakout towards $50,000, anticipating a potential ETF approval? Let's dive into the charts, because what we can currently see on the Bitcoin chart, starting off, we can see that Bitcoin is still range bound. We can see that Bitcoin did sweep this low over here, but by sweeping this low and not these lows over here around the range low, a lot of people that wanted to take profit on their short positions at the range low liquidity pool did not have the opportunity to get out in profit. It's a concept that I've been explaining many times, because the people that are shorting are very greedy, so they want to take profit at the lowest low possible in order for their RR to be the highest possible and to get the maximum amount of profits, alright? Now, on the other hand, people that are longing are extremely greedy as well. So what do? Instead of putting their stops beneath the range low, they are putting their stop loss beneath this low. Why? Because by tightening their stop loss, the RR of their long positions gets bigger as well. And people are extremely greedy creatures. And that is something that we have to realize when we look at the charts. So by sweeping this low and not the range low, the short positions did not get the time to get out in profit, and the long positions got stopped out. Now, the thing that we have to notice is this big wick over here that is still not filled for 50%, okay? So Bitcoin can still go and, in my opinion, test the value area low area and create a potential filled auction. So if we're going to mark out the value area low, this is the value area low area, and if we are going to take the 50% level of this huge wick on the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that if we extend this to the right, is that this 50% wick fill over here aligns right beneath the value area low. So a scenario that is still possible for me is a scenario in which we are going to test the value area low area, fall below the mid-range, fall below the value area low, fill 50% of that wick, and then reclaim it and then send it to the upside. Because guys, I'm still expecting that final impulsive structure towards the upside, towards at least $48,000. Now, on the other hand, many people are waiting for a pullback. Like I said, many people are waiting for that range low liquidity pool to get swept. So in my opinion, if price is truly bullish, we are going to leave this range low liquidity pool over here unswept, and we are not going to give the opportunity to people to get in the market over here. Now, many people are now also waiting for the fill of that wick, but we have to realize that we are really knocking on that door of this range high resistance area. So I'm not ruling it out of the question that people that were shorting this pullback over here, right? They don't have any confirmation to short, because the uptrend is not broken. Yes, we should have broken this low in order to break the uptrend, but we didn't close any candles beneath that low. We only wicked beneath it. But the retail will identify this move to the downside as a bearish move, as a shift in structure, right? So they start shorting the pullback. Now, where do they have their stop losses resting? Above the high over here. That's where the huge liquidity pool is currently for Bitcoin as well. If we keep knocking on that resistance door over here of the range high, I would not be surprised to get a reclaim above that range high and then send it towards $47,000 or $48,000, anticipating that potential ETF approval. Now, if you guys want to know what happens after we get the ETF decision, make sure to check out Friday's YouTube video. I've mapped out my plans, what to do if the ETF gets approved or if the ETF gets delayed, and everything is already on the chart. So definitely make sure to check out Friday's YouTube video as well after you've watched this one. But anticipating a potential ETF approval, guys, I would not be surprised to see a lot of strength from Bitcoin and start pumping into that news event, okay? Now, there's two different scenarios possible. Either we are going to go for that filled auction of the value area low, in which you want to wait for confirmation over here, and then we are going to send it to the upside. But if we want to front run many people, we could also keep knocking on the door of this range high area, and if we reclaim it, then you have a very clean long opportunity on the pullback in which you can put your entry over here, stop loss over here, and you can target 47.5 and eventually even $48,000 for the Bitcoin price. Pretty clean looking chart. There's not a lot of things that we can discuss besides these two scenarios for the upcoming days until we get that ETF approval or that ETF delay. Now let's continue with the next chart, which is Ethereum, which is definitely an interesting looking chart as well, because Ethereum did sweep the range low liquidity pool. Okay, so where Bitcoin did not sweep the range low liquidity pool, Ethereum did sweep the range low liquidity pool. Now also Ethereum, in order for Ethereum to break structure, we needed to open and close candles beneath this low. We haven't done that, okay? We have only been sweeping that low once and now sweeping that low twice into that liquidity pool that was resting beneath this low over here. Okay, so liquidity is definitely resting towards the upside for Ethereum. Now what we can also see, if we take this huge wick for Ethereum over here on the 4-hourly time frame, and we take once again that 50% level of that wick, what can we see? We filled that wick for 50%, right? And we are bouncing from that 50% wick fill level. Why do these wicks get filled? I've been explaining it many times and I'm looking to create a video on it. It's called the wick fill strategy. Because price is moving to the upside or downside too fast, smart money and the wheels, the bigger players inside of this market, don't get the opportunity to fill all of their orders, because in order to fill those huge orders, that takes time, and a quick wick indicates a fast price movement, too fast to fill their orders. So what do? They push the price back to fill at least 50% of that wick, and sometimes 75 or 100% of that wick. And after filling 50% of that wick, they do have the time to fill their orders, and that's where the price reverses back towards the upside. All right, and that is exactly what we are seeing. It's not a coincidence that we bounce exactly from that 50% wick fill level, and that is something that we have to note. That is something quite interesting, and that's maybe something in which the smart money and the wheels inside of this market are trying to tell us something. Now, in order for Ethereum to give us a long opportunity, I think we have to reclaim the mid-range. Okay, I think the mid-range, as we can see over here in the past, huge resistance, right? Resistance, huge support, and then over here, huge resistance, and we dropped off. Now, in order to really become bullish on Ethereum, we can also have a quick look at the fixed range volume profile over here for the Ethereum price. In order for Ethereum to really become bullish, I think we want to reclaim the mid-range, okay? In which we will also reclaim the point of control, and we can see this volume spike around the mid-range as well. Okay, I think if we manage to reclaim the mid-range on Ethereum, I think Ethereum will go for the liquidity pool around these equal highs over here above that range high, all right? Because we have swept the range low, we're here with a deviation of the range low, we have now also filled 50% of that wick, and we once again swept the low over here with this move to the downside. So the next liquidity pool, in my opinion, at least on Ethereum, is resting towards the upside, and the higher time frame trend has not been broken until we open and close candles beneath this low, and eventually also we need open and closes beneath this low. Now, how can we trade this? If we check the 1 hourly time frame, we can see that we have a local downtrend, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, right? So in order to shift that downtrend, we need to break this high, because this is the high that brought us to this fresh low. So that aligns with the mid-range, and that is nice confluence, right? So if we manage to start opening and closing candles on a 4 hourly time frame above the mid-range and above this lower high over here, I think you have a nice opportunity to long it on the pullback over here, find an invalidation maybe beneath this level or even beneath this wick. First target are these relative equal highs, but eventually you can target a lot higher for the Ethereum price. So eventually the setup could look something like this. Entry, maybe your stop loss over here or over here. First target are these equal highs over here, and eventually you can target a lot higher for the Ethereum price, okay? But so far, for both Bitcoin and Ethereum, guys, we need to reclaim two important levels. Bitcoin needs to reclaim the range high in order to get into a long position, and Ethereum needs to reclaim the mid-range in order to get into a long position. if we get no clear trigger, we won't enter any new position, okay? No trigger, no trade. You can have your plan, but if the price doesn't follow your plan, you're not going to get into a trade. And that is something that a lot of people don't realize whenever they look at the chart. Now, one of the most important charts currently out there is the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart. And this is indicating the strength of Ethereum against Bitcoin. Is Ethereum going to outperform Bitcoin, guys? And that is something which is a very important question currently, because Ethereum is also representing the altcoins, of course. And what we can see over here for Ethereum is an extremely clean range against Bitcoin. We have pivot number 1, pivot number 2, and then over here we have our third pivot as well. Now, this range is very, very clean, and we have seen a potential deviation beneath the range low over here. Technically speaking, after deviation of the range low, as long as the low of the deviation holds, you should get a test at least of the mid-range, right? Which we saw over here already, but eventually of the unswept range high liquidity pool over here. And that remains my target for Ethereum against Bitcoin until proven otherwise. And what I think is interesting about this chart is that a lot of people can identify this range low level over here, right? Even retail traders can identify this range low level because it has been support 4 times in a row. So what is happening over here is that we are falling beneath that key and pivotal level. So what will retail traders do you think? I think retail traders are panicking because they think, oh my god, we are falling once again beneath that range low level. So in their eyes, we should continue down a lot lower. But what they don't realize is that they are now shorting and panicking into a strong demand area for Ethereum against Bitcoin. Alright, so they are shorting support, and they are shorting after the price has already been correcting significantly. What I've been teaching you guys, never short support, never long resistance. What are we currently seeing? People shorting support, and this could provide fuel for the Ethereum against Bitcoin price to potentially squeeze higher if we reclaim the range low. So Bitcoin needs to reclaim its range high, Ethereum needs to reclaim the mid-range, and Ethereum against Bitcoin needs to reclaim its range low. Now, if these 3 things can happen over the upcoming days, then I think we will see a very explosive move towards the upside on the market, anticipating the final ETF decision by the SEC. And it's something that we should be watching over the upcoming days. Now, what I've been telling my community is that I'm only willing to be in one position at the same time until we get the ETF decision. Why is that? Because it's a very, very huge news event in which we may see crazy wicks to the upside or downside and some choppy price action. Now, it's our job as traders to preserve our capital, especially if you made such huge gains as we did in our community in Q4. We are not looking to give back those profits yet, right? And if we know that the market might be choppy, and if we know that we are in low probability environments, it's not our job to take as many trades as possible. It's our job to preserve our capital, and that is what we are currently doing. Nevertheless, if Bitcoin reclaims its range high, if Ethereum reclaims its mid-range, if Ethereum against Bitcoin is reclaiming the range low level, then I do definitely think that we could see explosive moves on the market towards the upside, anticipating that final ETF decision. If you guys do have any questions after watching today's YouTube video, feel free to let me know in the comments down below or join our community and you can ask me all the questions that you want over there. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I'll catch you guys on Wednesday's video. Ciao, ciao.